Recording. Hey, welcome to Prophetic Lifestyles with Bernard Bolton, where we are making the prophetic practical, bringing the prophetic into everyday life and creating the future today. So we are back. This is part 2 of our conversation with Prophet Andrea Renfroe. And in this conversation, we're talking about the marketplace. So this is historic for Prophetic Lifestyles, where we are going to be doing ongoing conversations with persons who are both in ministry and in the marketplace. They understand how to navigate, how to separate. They're not trying to bring the ministry in the marketplace. They ain't trying to preach on the job. They're not trying to get everybody saved in the workplace. Not that any of that is not important, but there is a time and a season for everything, and how we function in the marketplace is very different from how we function in ministry. One of the problems that the church has brought a lot of confusion is we think everything we do has got to be about church. It's got to be about ministry. But God has given us life, and within this life that he has given us many facets in the life. Ministry is one part, marketplace is the other part, family is another part, having fun, recreation, that's another part, worship is another part. So there are many parts in life, and everything in life, especially for the believer, everything is not about ministry. Okay. Matter of fact, we don't even see ministry when God, and I know I'm kind of preaching, but this is our introduction, but we don't even see ministry in the garden. When God created Adam and then created Eve, we see them living life. We see them creating. We see them maximizing. We see them falling in love with each other. All right. And so in these conversations, we want to bring an emphasis to the body of Christ that you can do ministry if you are called to ministry. If you have a call to vocational ministry, you can do ministry, but then also you can be in the marketplace as a business person, and you can do both, and you can navigate. So Prophet Andrea shared with us in the first conversation her ministry and some of the challenges and some of the rewards that she went through, and then some of her current ministry. So now we're going to talk with the marketplace, the businesswoman, the Proverbs 31 woman. Did you not know that the Proverbs 31 woman was a businesswoman, an entrepreneur? Yeah. That woman knew how to make money. Yeah. Lord have mercy. So we've got Prophet Andrea, the business person, to come back and share with us about the marketplace. And listen, this book, okay, let me see if I can, okay.
There it is.
Yeah. Occupy, okay, this is an anthology of encouragement, discovery, and inspiration. And I did a story on how to navigate between ministry and the marketplace. Well, that was a revelation that the Lord had given to me in the 90s when I was pastoring in traditional church. And the Lord said to me, and this was years before I really understood how he spoke, but I knew that God spoke. And I heard him say that I'm raising up a new breed of ministers, those who will navigate in ministry and the marketplace. Well, that word died in me. It died in me until I became a part of this project, which Prophet Andrea was the publisher of, and the Lord, and I was trying to think about what to write about, and the Lord brought forth the ministry and the marketplace piece. And I mean, this was like back in 97. And when was this book published, Prophet Andrea?
October 2020.
2020. So we're talking about 24 years after I got that revelation. The Lord birthed that in me. So I've taken my story from Occupy, and really we're creating a whole new branch of our marketplace, okay, as a life coach. So I'm grateful to Prophet Andrea for the opportunity, and I'm thankful to the Holy Spirit for bringing that back to me. And so I'm very excited to talk with ministers who are doing ministry well, but they're also in the marketplace. So Prophet Andrea, talk to us about your business. Share with us, what do you do in the marketplace?
Okay, I do a couple of things. So
Yes.
I have a consulting firm where I offer business and administrative services. It's called Kingdom Ventures LLC.
Yes.
And I do typically my market is small businesses or individuals who they don't have the know-how on how to bring order to their their systems and protocols, or they don't have the money, or they don't have the manpower.
Yes.
So I meet with them, find out what their needs are, and I just try to come alongside them to help them in some cases stand up their business, start their business, or if they have already started their business, to kind of get, like I said earlier, just to get things in order. Because some people are operating, they're not in compliance with the local government, they're not in compliance with the state or the federal government. Right. They're just operating. And as believers, we need to make sure that we are operating appropriately. So yes, I help businesses and individuals get those types of things straightened out. So that's the primary business. And like I had mentioned in the previous session, Life Keys Training Center is emerging as an exclusive business in and of itself, where I offer coaching services, I offer accountability services, mentoring, that kind of thing. So it is growing.
All right. So when did you first become a business person or become interested in business in the marketplace?
So I started Kingdom Ventures in January of 2013. Wow. So it's been a while. A while. And I had gotten really tired of sitting on the job. And I was like, I can do this myself. It's the type of work I was, I'm an auditor by career, and love making sure things are in order. So I was like, I can do this myself. So I launched the business and end up getting, a few little things here and there. I do now have a bigger contract that I get every year by the grace of God, where I do an annual report and that kind of thing. So it started all the way back in 2013. Had never even considered it. Had never even really considered it, but wow, it was time.
Okay. So then, did you ever have any interest in business as a child, as a young person, or no?
And unfortunately, I believe that was out of fear. So I never let those thoughts, come. I was a person who thought, you just work until retirement and, that's it, or you work until you die. Yeah. That's that poverty mindset and all of that. Right. But that got dealt with very quickly. It was before 2013, but 2013 is when I actually launched to do it. Mm-hmm. But never, I can't think of any distinct time in my childhood where I ever considered owning a business.
Okay. So as a prophet and a Christian, can you share with us some of the challenges that you face in the marketplace, in the business, and just share some of the challenges that you face?
I would say sometimes the challenges are, God gives you the insight to see solutions. Yes. For certain things that a business is dealing with, or an individual. And, when you present them, and not in a ministry type of mind, in a ministry way, you present it in a professional business, way. Right. People still don't want to listen. And it's like your heart aches and breaks, because you're like, this is the solution that will help you to bring order to this chaos that you're dealing with, and it will help you move forward into the things that you want to achieve for the business. So it is really, that's mainly where I see a lot of issues. and this might be a little, nitpicky, but that's just because I'm a person of order.
Right.
One of the things that burns me up is not being in compliance with the regulations.
Yes.
I mean, if the regulations are in place, we have to make sure that we are in compliance, because as believers, people are looking at how we conduct business, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I love you use the word compliance, which is a business term and a marketplace term, but then also theologically,
mhm,
it's about righteousness.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
about righteousness. So even if you don't, you might not feel like you need to be compliant,
right.
but as a believer, we
Mhm,
want to be righteous in all things.
absolutely.
And so that does come into compliance in the things that bringing order to the things that we need to have order in. All right, share with us some of your rewards, some of the rewards from being in business, being in the marketplace.
I will look at one of the bigger projects I have, helping that organization compile their data and present it in a report that is a deliverable for the people they have to report to.
Yes.
Seeing the joy on their faces, not just with doing something that keeps them in compliance, but something of excellence that
Yes.
that bears their organization's name,
Yes.
that builds a type of history, so to speak, in terms of their body of work and what they do. It is something about being able to deliver in that way, to make sure that the clients are satisfied, and not just in a check a box kind of way. They are, in my opinion, their soul is satisfied. They can rest. They can operate in a place of peace, because they know that this is done in excellence and we have met our requirements. So,
Wow, that's great. That's great. All right. So you are also a published author,
yes.
and can you share with us what got you on the path of writing
Oh,
your first book,
okay.
and some of the some of your experiences as a writer?
So I've been writing my entire, as far back as I could write. I've been writing. I am a writer to the bone and marrow.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just all of my life. So
Yeah.
while in Okinawa, Japan, during a women's conference, a prophetic word was going forth about somebody being released to write their book. And at that very moment, the light bulb, it was like the Lord began to speak to me. It's time for you to publish a book. And I took it and ran with it, and I started compiling the book.
Yeah.
And it took 5 years because of fear.
Right.
But in 2014, I published my first book, Come Forth, a book of poetry. And the way I describe it is this way. Publishing that book literally fertilized my scribal womb, so to speak. Yeah. So after that book was birthed, it was like the pen wouldn't stop. It was a mandate to write and to publish. Right. So and a couple of years later, I published my second book, Inspired, but that one I published myself. The previous one, Come Forth, I went through a company to do. And once I saw it, I was like, I can do this. Yeah. So I did it, and I've been doing it ever since. Okay.
Now, do you see your writing as a business? Do you see it as marketplace, or do you view it as ministry? Both.
Yeah, I believe it touches both realms.
Yeah.
Because there's no duality in me. Everything I touch, whatever the gift is going to operate. It's just the way it's presented. If it's in the marketplace, it's not all of the way we do ministry. If it's in ministry, it's not necessarily the way you do business, but I still bring my full self to all of it.
Okay. All right. How many books have you published up until today?
So 3. so far for under my particular credit in my name. But I have some clients in queue that I am getting ready to publish.
Okay.
So that's
yes. So tell us your journey into publishing, because you, from the second and third book, you published yourself, and now you are a publisher for others. So kind of share with us how did that come about?
So again, the first book I published went through a publishing company, and they did fine with it. But when I saw the results, I said, I can do this myself. I did it myself a few years later with Inspired. But right around, I don't know, 2020, God gave me the mandate to compile the anthology Occupy that you showed earlier.
Yes.
And that is the first time that I literally considered publishing other people. Yeah. And it was the work of compiling other people's written works and walking through them with the editing and, going through all of that process. I said, there's something here. Yeah. And so that project sparked my, my desire to actually be a publisher.
Okay, great. All right, so you shared with us, and I also want you to talk about, because again, you're very good in everything that you do, but you're also a certified coach. So how did that come about, and what was that process?
Oh goodness. So the coach piece, that snuck up on me. So back in 2017, I had been researching speaking and teaching and training, and of course John Maxwell came up. Okay. And I subscribed to all of that, got the certification that way. But while I was on site for the certification training, there was a presenter there who presented on coaching. And the mastery in which he moved, and he spoke, and the purity of coaching, it captured me. And I said to myself, that's what I am. Yeah. That is indeed what I do. I had never kind of matched it. It just, but it made sense in that moment. And ever since that time, it's just, that's been my path. Because again, the purity of it is, to me, is prophetic. It's prophetic if it's done correctly. That is God's heart to really unlock people. So that's how that started.
All right. Can you share some of the? Let's say you were talking to a potential coach. Can you share with us the pros or the benefits of being a coach, and then some of the negatives of being a coach?
So I would say the positives of being a coach is it really will open you up to, if you don't already carry this particular characteristic or trait, to wanting to help people uncover their untapped potential. So what you find in the coaching industry a lot of times is people just slap coach on their name. And they just go and do something and they believe it's coaching, and it's not, because coaching isn't just a matter of you're telling someone what to do. You are helping them discover the answers that are already resident in them. So the purity in that, that is a positive, because you are truly walking with somebody in their process, and to see them unfold, to go from not knowing, not understanding who they are and what they want, and making connections, and just through a series of intentional probing questions, you're able to help them come to these answers. That's phenomenal to me. That's just phenomenal. Now, the negatives, I would really say the negatives have to do with the industry itself, because it is one of the most unregulated industries out there. When you talk about being a doctor, a lawyer, an auditor, an accountant, All of those industries are regulated. You have to be certified. You have to go to school. You have to maintain, your continuing education things.
Right.
You like their mandates, their requirements, but the coaching industry, not so.
Nothing.
And so people have this leeway where they can just jump out there and they can mess people's lives up. And so that's not a good deal. So that's a negative. It's a dark shadow over the coaching industry for that reason, in my opinion. And then because of that, a lot of people, they shun coaching and coaches because of what they have seen people who really aren't coaches do. So those are some of the negative things that I've seen.
Okay. All right. Now I want to talk about your opinion. Is again, it's not one of the questions I sent you, but a book that I've written that I plan on having released before the mentoring conference in January is the difference between the mentor and the coach.
Yes.
All right. And I know that you do both, because I kind of see where many of us who are working with scribes and we carry the office of apostle or prophet, we are more of a mentor, but then we're also coaches in terms of getting people to that place, helping them unlock what's inside of them. Okay. So can you share your own opinion on the difference between a coach and a mentor?
So I'm going to just preface this with my opinion is it includes what I've learned from my training as well. So
yes.
A mentor in the traditional sense is someone who is able to use their experience to help another person navigate their process. And what I mean is when there's an exchange between the mentor and the mentee, the mentor is able to say, listen, I went through this similar situation. These are the things I did. These were the pitfalls. These were the challenges. These were the positive things. This is what I would do. A mentor would even have moments where he or she will direct the mentee. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do that for this particular outcome.
Yes.
Whereas a coach, and just operating purely from that space, a coach is not going to direct a person or give a person the answers or tell the person what to do. Yeah. The coach is simply there to facilitate the coaching process so the person discovers that what they need is resident. They're just not aware of it right now. Right. So that's where the real coach is going to ask a myriad of questions.
Yeah.
Probing questions that are going to force the person to think, because people don't want to think. They want to just be told what to do.
Right. So. Right. That is really good. That is wow. Those are some of the, I might have to go back and rewrite that book and put in what you just said. That is really good. Thank you, Prophet Andrea.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Now in ministry, you function as a prophet, and that's your call to the church, and you function among your mentees as a prophet. But you are still prophetic even in business. So how do you navigate between your call as a prophet, your gift and office as a prophet, and then your place in your business or in the marketplace? How do you navigate between?
So again, and I think I said this earlier, I stand in my office no matter where I am.
Right.
It's the delivery of what I give that looks different. Yes. So in the marketplace, if God shows me something, there's instruction or knowing, okay, you need to present this to the client in this particular way. This is the regulation. This is where you all aren't in compliance. Here are some things you can do to to come into compliance. And the prophetic flows through that because there might be a creative component that needs to be established to help them implement the solution, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's all done in a professional context. So I'm not in their meeting room and like, in the name of Jesus, you need to get in compliance with the regulation. You know, we're not doing, and not that I would do that in ministry either. I'm just saying, you know, Christians can just get ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
So I keep it professional. I hear God concerning what I'm working on, and I make the suggestions or share according to what I'm hearing God say. And sometimes God is not necessarily always saying something. You know, when we mature in God, we know we have his heart. Right. So some things we just know to share with the client. Right. So I do things that way, even when I'm writing, or like when I'm laying out a report that I'm doing for a client. Even, and this might sound strange, but I believe somebody who listens to this is going to understand. Even when I'm laying out a report, the way an image and wording is placed on a page is very critical to how the intent is conveyed, if that makes sense. So the prophetic even flows in that practical way. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways that I move in the professional space, but it's all informed by God, no matter where, you know, no matter who I'm dealing with or what project I'm working on.
This is really good, because what you're saying to us is that your prophetic gifting is never turned off, whether you're in ministry, in the marketplace, in business, in the gathering of God's people, you know, ministering to a mentee, prophesying. It never cuts off, but you know how to present it.
Absolutely.
You know how to present. You're not carrying. You're always carrying the gift, but you know how to navigate. You know how to process it, and I think that's one of the important pieces of this new breed that the Lord spoke to me about back in '96. That there would be people who would know how to navigate, you know, between ministry and marketplace. Not, you know, because we're coming out of this confusion, this seven mountain mandate, you know, where you got to take the ministry to the mountains and to the marketplace. Thankfully, we're coming out of that, but there's still many traditional believers who think that it is better to bring their ministry into the job, but you can be prophetic on the job.
Absolutely.
Without it being ministry, it is just simply God flowing through you. And once you learn that and you begin to receive that, then you can navigate and be successful in both. So thank you.
I think that's, I'm sorry, if you don't mind, I just want to elaborate on that a moment. I think that's where the disconnect is. So many believers, they limit God.
Yes.
And in that limitation, they don't realize that they can take the way God wants them to operate. And when I say way, what I mean is what they carry, that they can still take that and bring it into a professional space and still have the same caliber of impact. Right. They can have the same caliber of influence. Right. It is just, you have to understand your audience. Right. If you're not in the congregation or around believers, when you are, there's a language you speak and they understand. When you are in the professional space, there is a language you speak and they understand. Right. The goal is to help them understand. Right. So why would I speak Japanese to a Spanish person? Right. Or why would I speak? You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have to me, it's common sense. Like we have to make sure that we stop being so in the clouds and so crazy with things, and bring it into a space of balance, order, and understanding God's heart. He wants the professional space to have him too.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
that's right. That's right. That is really good, because one of the things we teach in our ministry is the ministry of reconciliation.
absolutely.
God is reconciling the world to himself. What does that look like? Well,
Mhm.
that is us in the marketplace. That is us in the business place. That is
Yes.
we are partnering with God as he's bringing the world back to himself, and we have to learn how to do that, like Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and
Yes.
Abednego,
Yes.
who became excellent servants
Absolutely.
in a heathen king's kingdom. They became excellent because they took on the name of that culture.
Mhm.
Now, they did not walk in the behavior of the culture,
Absolutely.
but they assimilated into the culture where the king can say, I'm going to advance you.
Yes.
I can trust you. That when it came to dreams, Daniel was the one. He wasn't
Absolutely.
going to the astrologers. He was going to Daniel, the man of God. And so that's how we have to understand marketplace. Even though Daniel was a prophet, but Daniel was a marketplace person who had the ear of the king.
Come on now. And that's got, listen, see, you already know it's about to pop off. That right there, it blesses my soul, because that's why, I mean, we have examples in the word to show us that God is intending for some of us to operate in both realms. And the influence of God is so potent. Come on, somebody. It's so potent that he loves the king too.
That's right.
Even though the king is a hot mess.
Right.
And who is going to be the one to go and position themselves to ensure the king hears God? Somebody better tell me that God, listen, God is the master strategist, y'all. So if you are called to the marketplace, you have to put the ministry piece to the side, but always operate out of what God called you to do. Always.
You got it, woman. Listen, y'all see why I love to hear this woman preach. I love this woman. Next to our mentor, Apostle Teresa, this is one of my favorite preachers. And y'all see why. Y'all just got a taste of it. So y'all need to connect with Prophet Andrea. But this is so powerful. So thank you, Prophet Andrea. Listen, any future projects you want to share with us in terms of business? If a person wants to consult with you or want to be coached with you, how do they get in touch with you? How do they connect with you?
So they can go to my website, lifekeystrainingscenter.com, lifekeystrainingscenter.com. And they can go to the contact page and reach out to me for whatever services that they're, looking for. They can reach me by phone at 240-229-6812. So they can reach out that way. Now, that's coaching, accountability, mentoring. But if you're looking for business or administrative services, you're going to go to kingdomventuresllc.com and you'll see the services that I offer there. We can have a consultation, see what it is you need, and build out a plan so we can help you out.
Yeah. And listen, all of her information is in the description box. So you can go straight to the description box from this conversation, and you can get everything that you need to connect with Prophet Andrea. And lastly, I want to promote the book that we wrote, Occupy, and we're going to have the link to the Amazon page. So if you want to get this book, and it's 10 authors, and they all write their story of Occupy, and they tell their personal experience. So it's a great book, and I want to encourage you to get it. So there's a link to Amazon. Apostle Prophet, I'm speaking beforehand, but Prophet Andrea, you can go to her Amazon page and you can order the book. You can get that book. Okay.
Can I say one more thing, Apostle?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I always try to warn people, if you are looking to work with me, I am no nonsense. I don't say that to scare people. I say that to manage expectations. If you are serious and you want my help, I'm going to bring my full self to the table to assist you, but I am asking you do the same. So I like to put that out front, because some people, you know, they meet me, they talk with me, and they're like, yeah, no, I'm not ready. I'm not at that place just yet. So I like people to know.
All right. All right. So if you're ready, she's the one. You're looking for order. All right. Here is the prophet of order. Okay. And I've seen her order. I've walked with her in her order. And I mean, the way she does life and the way she orders life and help others to order life. She's helped me to order life. And so she's been just such an incredible blessing. And I know that you're going to be blessed by connecting with Prophet Andrea and Life Keys Training Center and any of her other businesses. So thank you, Prophet Andrea, for being with us.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for the honor, Apostle Bernard.
Yes, ma'am. God bless.